The galaxy had many forgotten places, but none were as mysterious as the silent moon drifting beyond the Adrian belt. The moon had no life, no atmosphere, and no reason for anyone to visit, until a deep space scanning probe detected an underground power signature. That single reading changed everything. The Volteran Empire sent an archaeological fleet. Their goal was simple: recover anything valuable before another empire claimed it. Their ships arrived with heavy scanners, excavation drills, and diplomatic officers ready to register any historic discovery under Volteran ownership. The leader of the fleet was Commander Saro Milan, a calm, methodical strategist who believed nothing unusual would be found. To him, the moon was just another abandoned place. But the moment their first dig team drilled into the surface, they found metal, pure refined alloy, impossible for any natural formation. They dug deeper and discovered a massive sealed structure beneath the rock. The more they uncovered, the more nervous the scientists became. The structure looked ancient, but untouched. The surface still shimmered with faint silver glow lines, like veins of cold energy. A circular door stood at the entrance, fused shut with a locking mechanism older than any empire alive today. "Open it," Commander Saro ordered. But nothing they tried worked. Plasma cutters melted against the door. Magnetic fields rejected every tool. Finally, one scientist suggested something strange: apply a sound-based resonance using unknown frequency bands recorded from star relics. When they tried it, the door responded. It opened slowly, releasing a silent gust of air that had been sealed for thousands of years. The entrance revealed a vast chamber filled with technology unlike anything known. Walls were coated in luminous scripts, flowing symbols, and geometric patterns that shifted like living code. One of the junior researchers scanned a wall and frowned. "There is a match," he whispered. Commander Saro looked up. "Match for what?" "For a lost species. A species only mentioned in ancient mythology. The database classifies them as..." He paused. "Humans." The word echoed through the chamber. No one reacted at first. Humans were considered fantasy, a cultural legend that young species told their children. But the inscriptions were clear. Human markings. Human language. Human design. Inside the chamber they found data cores, small rectangular crystals, each glowing faint blue. When they connected one core into their universal decoder, it did not just translate, it overrode their system. The ship's holographic screens shifted on their own, displaying multiple pages of historical records. Those records described a civilization that conquered physics, traveled distant galaxies, and built star networks that connected thousands of worlds. At first the crew believed the data was exaggerated. But then they found something worse. A timeline. It showed how humans lived at the center of the galaxy for over 6,000 years. They ruled peacefully at first, establishing laws and protecting young species. And then suddenly, without war, without warning, they sealed their cities, shut down their star gateways, and vanished. Their disappearance was not caused by conflict. The record said. Humanity withdrew. By choice. The phrase repeated across multiple files. No war. No extinction. No collapse. They simply walked away. Commander Saro and his officers stared at the projection for minutes, unable to move. Any empire that could leave willingly after controlling more than half the galaxy had to be far beyond their understanding. More files unlocked. They discovered maps leading to regions considered forbidden for thousands of years. Empty coordinates, abandoned sectors, star systems marked as restricted zones. And on the final page was a warning. Those who seek humanity, seek judgment. The ship's AI tried to close the data but could not. The core forced another screen open, a message embedded by the humans. We are not gone. We are watching. Everyone froze. The scientist who had first identified the markings began shaking. Sir, If humans are real, if they ever come back, they will not see us as equals. Commander Sero did not respond. Instead, he ordered the fleet to transmit encrypted summaries back to the Volteran Council. The discovery had to be announced. But the Council did not respond with excitement. They responded with fear. Within 2 hours, classified channels across the Empire lit up with emergency alerts. Neighboring governments intercepted the leaked signals. News spread faster than any empire could control. Every major civilization realized the same frightening truth. Humans did not disappear. Humans were waiting. And someone had just opened the path leading back to them. The discovery on the moon could not remain hidden for long. Within 3 days, 5 neighboring empires picked up fragments of the decoded human data. Trading networks whispered about it, military councils panicked, and older species searched through ancient scriptures hoping the rumor was false. But nothing changed the truth. Humanity existed. And the coordinates embedded in the decrypted map pointed toward a dark region of space known as S-94. A place every star navigator avoided. A place listed on charts with 3 symbols. No entry, unknown gravitational field, censored history. The Volteran High Council held a closed meeting. They debated for 20 hours, then reached a decision. Send a diplomatic investigation fleet. But not just any fleet. The Echelon Vanguard Task Group, the most advanced exploratory formation they possessed. Its flagship, the Varus Prime, led 6 escort cruisers, for scientific carriers, and 20 automated drones designed for unknown environments. When they reached the edge of Sector S-94, their instruments malfunctioned. Navigation screens flickered without signal loss. Time tracking systems reset every few minutes. Communication channels echoed empty static as if something invisible listened. Then the drones disappeared. They were launched ahead with real-time tracking, but transmission was cut instantly. No explosion, no interference, just an immediate blackout. Something is inside, Commander Sero murmured, now leading from the flagship. When they crossed the region's inner boundary, they found a planet. Silent, dark, covered by massive shield lines glowing faint white. It was not listed on any chart. No empire had ever scanned it. No star maps acknowledged its existence. And yet it was stable, living, and protected. The fleet assumed the shield was inactive due to age, so they attempted a standard entry scan. The shield reacted. A pulse spread, like a ripple across space, and every ship received the same message on every monitor simultaneously. Identify. The crew froze. The signal was not sound. Not radio. Not laser. It was direct. Straight into their systems. Straight into their minds. No one answered at first. Then a diplomatic officer activated his response channel and transmitted peaceful intent. We seek communication. We seek understanding. We seek. The message cut off. The shield lowered. Without warning, ancient machinery on the planet awakened. Entire continents lit up with geometric lights. Towers rose from the ground. Energy rings unfolded around the planet like colossal wings. Every sensor on the fleet overloaded. Radiation readings spiked. Space fabric interference began forming around them. And then, a voice spoke. But this time, not through systems. Through the bridge itself. It sounded human. Calm. Precise. Without fear. Entry granted. The planet opened, revealing an atmosphere, oceans, and sprawling cities hidden beneath camouflage barriers. A docking structure extended upward, creating platforms large enough to hold their ships. This world is active, the science officers whispered. Not abandoned. Landing teams deployed. They stepped into structures that looked untouched by time. Buildings carried smooth metal surfaces, archways of translucent energy, and long corridors lined with deep blue markings. Everything powered itself. Nothing decayed. And at the center of a colossal hall stood an object, floating 3 meters above the floor, an orb of shifting light. Their scanners identified it immediately. Humankind Neural Archive. Only humans ever made such a thing. Commander Sero stepped closer. The orb opened, displaying holographic timelines of human history, but not the history they saw earlier. This version was censored. Redacted. Locked. A message appeared in the air. Viewing classified data requires identity confirmation. The fleet could not confirm. They had no human genetic sequence. They had nothing close. The orb dimmed. The hall lights flickered. Then someone noticed movement. Across the room, a crystalline shape unfolded into a human silhouette, tall, expressionless, almost statuesque. Not alive. Not artificial. Something else. It raised its head and spoke. You are not the chosen successors. The temperature in the room dropped. We are not your enemies, Sero replied carefully. You will become your own. The entity vanished. A tremor ran through the facility. The message was clear. Humans had left something behind, something still evaluating any species that dared approach. The fleet withdrew, shaken, uncertain. And as their ships lifted from the surface, one final transmission echoed through every vessel. Do not follow us further. Your history has already been judged. No one understood what it meant. But when the fleet left the system, the awakened structures on the planet remained lit, like eyes watching them disappear into the stars. When the fleet returned, nothing about them was normal. Their ship logs were incomplete, timestamps conflicted, and sensor data appeared corrupted, as if someone rewrote parts of reality itself. The Volteran Council demanded explanations, but every officer gave different versions. Some remembered corridors shifting while they walked. Others remembered voices speaking directly in their thoughts. And a few whispered one thing none dared repeat aloud. They were not asleep. Within days, transmission leaks reached other empires. Civilizations that once fought over territory suddenly redirected full attention to one question. Where did humans go, and why did they leave? Star academies reopened forbidden archives. Ancient species recalled stories never believed. And older races, the ones alive during early galactic expansion, grew silent, too afraid to speak. But then something unexpected happened. Signals began appearing in distant systems. Not messages. Not radio. Not light. Awakenings. In abandoned sectors, stations long dead began powering up. Old navigation beacons, believed to be scrap metal, broadcast encrypted human frequencies. Massive rings floating near collapsed wormholes restarted rotation. No empire turned them on. Yet they were active. One relic station near the Cerna's rift projected a 3-word broadcast. Cycle resumes now. 3 words shook the galaxy more than any threat. On planets far away, unknown human-built satellites emerged from beneath oceans and deserts, rising like silent guardians. Entire governments sent strike teams to capture them, yet every attempt failed. No weapon could damage them. No tool could open them. They just hovered, studying. It was clear, the moment someone accessed the moon vault, something greater synchronized. The Emperor of Volterra convened an emergency alliance conference. The room held 11 races. No introductions. No greetings. Everyone already knew why they were there. A historian from the Eldra Dominion explained what little they once recorded. Humans disappeared deliberately. Not by accident. And before leaving, they cloaked their legacy. They believed the next dominant species must earn contact, not demand it. Earn what? An ambassador asked. Continuation. Every leader fell silent. Then the lights in the conference hall flickered, not from malfunction, but from interference. A transmission breached every encryption wall in existence. Not through networks. Through air. Through building material. Through neural implants. The voice spoke clearly. Your cycle evaluation begins. Screens lit up simultaneously, showing ancient human fleets drifting deep in subspace, miles-long carriers, war-class dreadnoughts, and expansion liners built for billion population migrations. They were not abandoned. They were dormant. Waiting. Someone whispered, "This is a threat." But the voice responded immediately. Incorrect. This is measurement. Suddenly their screens displayed star maps, arranged by sequential eras. Indicators highlighted wars, planetary purges, enslavements, illegal biological modifications, every crime species committed over thousands of years. A timeline unfolded. Humans ruled once. Humans departed. You were tested. You failed. Panic broke out. Some leaders denied it. Some argued. Some begged. But the voice continued unemotional. Humanity left knowledge to be inherited. It was locked, not erased. The chosen were expected to maintain balance. Instead you reduced worlds to colonies, stripped life, fragmented unity. One commander shouted. What gives humans right to judge us? They disappeared. They abandoned responsibility. The voice paused as if considering. Walking away from power does not remove stewardship. The room fell silent. Then every screen shut down. Power returned. But the diplomats no longer cared about alliances. They cared about survival. Within hours, militaries mobilized. Fleets reinforced borders. Superweapon research resurfaced. Every empire prepared for someone they had never met. Humans, not extinct. Not mythical. Returning. Across the galaxy, in regions untouched by war, ancient human systems began activating deeper functions. Stations rearranged themselves into network patterns. Warp signatures formed across void sectors. Something huge was opening, bridges, pathways, gateways. Not invasion. Access. The Volteran fleet's logs replayed fragments recorded inside that mysterious hull. You are not the chosen successors. But if they were not chosen, who was? The galaxy was forced to accept a terrifying possibility. Humanity never left because they lost power. Humanity left because no one else deserved to share it yet. And now the cycle they once paused was active again. Across every populated sector, alarms rang as gate networks reactivated. Star roads, ancient FTL pathways believed to be broken, stabilized one by one, forming illuminated channels through space. But they were not controlled by any existing empire. Neither Volteran, nor Eldrin, nor Tarkon fleets registered access authority. Something else owned them. For the first time in recorded history, every empire suspended conflict. Border disputes ceased. Patrol fleets abandoned outer colonies just to move inward, closer to safety. Entire governments operated under one silent rule. Stay away from the awakened systems. Do not attract attention. But attention had already been drawn. The first visible structure emerged in the center of the galaxy. A massive spherical formation, half machine, half gravitational distortion, shaped like a dormant star enclosed in metal latticework. The fabric of space warped around it. Energy signatures from its core exceeded all known power scales. Scientists tried naming it. Diplomats tried categorizing it. Military leaders tried targeting it. But the object simply observed. Then broadcasts began. No translation needed. Every species understood it instantly, as if words bypassed language. Cycle calibration complete. Planets trembled. Civilizations prayed. No one dared respond. Except Volterra. Their council transmitted a cautious inquiry. Are humans returning to reclaim domination? The reply came immediately. Domination was never purpose. Images began projecting into open air in every connected galaxy. Filmed records, not holograms, not interpretation, but first-hand human archives. Children running through colossal rotating cities. Massive cultivation domes producing food for billions. Armies not in aggressive formation but ceremonial peace march. Star networks lighting like rivers of energy. And one final scene. Thousands of humans standing before the largest star gate ever constructed, before it closed. Their message was spoken directly into the recording device. When the next order arrives, let them choose peace first. If they fail, we shall resume guardianship. That was the moment history split. Humans departed willingly, through systems unknown, possibly beyond the galaxy itself. Some whispered they transcended physical form. Some believed they traveled into compressed dimensions. Others said humans evolved into energy-based lifeforms. But the truth did not matter. They left on purpose. By design. And now they were looking back at what grew in their absence. A voice filled every active communication channel. We return not as rulers, but as restoration. The spherical structure unfolded slowly. Not into weaponry. Into gateways. Dozens. Hundreds. Like petals opening. From each gateway, human ships emerged, silent, geometrically smooth constructions without engines or visible propulsion. Their hulls reflected stars like mirrors. They did not advance aggressively. They positioned themselves in a straight formation across space, unmoving, waiting. That alone was terrifying. Because ships that move without engines imply technology that bends natural laws. One empire panicked. The Arkle Dominion launched missiles in fear. The missiles froze mid-space. Frozen, not destroyed. Not vaporized. Held still. As if time had been paused for them alone. A single message appeared. Do not repeat failure. The missiles turned around, slowly, aimed back toward Arkle territory. Before they detonated, the Dominion surrendered publicly. Entire governments collapsed without battle. Human ships transmitted a universal invitation. Worlds that seek equilibrium may join the restored network. No threats. No orders. No hierarchy. Just choice. Empires sent ambassadors trembling with fear. World after world accepted. Not because they wanted humans to rule. But because they realized humans were not returning to conquer anything. They were returning because they left something unfinished. Justice. Balance. The right inheritance. A final broadcast echoed. We walked away to test your unity. You chose fragmentation. Therefore, we will begin again, without removing you, and without repeating your cycle. Then a new system deployed. Across the galaxy, star roads formed safe routes. Trading networks aligned without taxation. Energy channels stabilized for free use. Biological research hubs opened publicly for all species. Humans established peace not by force, but by overwhelming superiority that no empire dared challenge.